Oh, check that out. Don't you love it when YouTube just loves to screw with your stuff? Woo! Oh, you hear that? You hear that trail? Oh, you hear that trail? Check that out. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there tonight? I know we got some people in the chat, and I can already tell we have two very special people, and I'll address that in a moment. But welcome all, SPJ Live, the I'm Not Watching the Avengers edition. Hope you all had yourself a nice day, and you're not watching the Avengers, so you're here with me, and I'm very, very humbled at that fact that you are here with me. Pardon me while I adjust the microphone. There we go. Let's see who we got with us right now. There are 6 of you watching, so thank you very much for that. We got Ben Coombs. We got Aaron from Albus. We have Jay Steen lurking around here somewhere. We also have a new name that I've not seen, Dan Murray. Dan, welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. I always appreciate having new viewers here. I just saw Terry's GGNG pop up. Terry, it is great to have you here, my friend. Hope you had an awesome day. Hope you all had an awesome day. And thank you all so much for joining in. We've got, let's see, 5 people watching right now. That really means a lot. It just went up to 8. I don't know. These jumps have been really, really weird the last little bit. I see 8 now. Will Varela, my friend, hello. How are you? I hope you had an awesome day. Thank you for joining us tonight. Quick word about what you are hearing tonight. Today was a little bit of a sort of an AV test, if you will. I want to say a big ol' thanks to Ben, who you might see has a new little blue wrench badge right next to his name. That's because I have decided to make Ben one of the moderators here for live shows and live chats and whatnot, because homeboy is a homeboy, for real. We were testing out audio earlier today to try to get the quality up, and I wanted to have him actually say to me, like, okay, this is how I see things going, and this is what I'm hearing, and we were making adjustments and all that good stuff. So I'm very, very excited about that. The setup today is, of course, the trusty Les Paul Studio, going into a nice, little bit more simplified version of the pedal board that I've been using over the course of the last few weeks. The Polytune 2 is the first thing that gets seen. That is a true bypass tuner, so there's no buffer going in. Then we have the Matthews Architect V3, probably my favorite overdrive pedal at the moment. We have the New Neighbor Neuron doing all the clean and dirty heavy lifting amp sim stuff with the internal speaker simulator engaged. We also have the Vertex Boost on the floor, which I absolutely love. I do not have the expression pedal hooked up to it today, though, because I've commandeered almost all the TRS cables that I own in order to be able to, do this little setup today. So I'm gonna have to make another TRS cable. And we got the TC Flashback 2 with my Chaos Crescendo tone print loaded up into it, and it is sounding awesome so far. And then lastly, the Matthews Effects Astronomer V2, which if you haven't done so already, there is a demo up on the channel. Please do go check that out. I am using the Canis Major algorithm that's loaded into that, and it's sort of they describe it as an echo verb, which I think is a pretty accurate statement on it. It's definitely got a little bit of an echo thing going on, but it also is a very dense kind of reverb. So I'll just go ahead and play a little bit just with the reverb on so that you can, get a feel for that. Boost it up a little bit. Turn up the mix of that a little bit. Just really, really dense kind of stuff. Just sounds phenomenal. So I've been using that a lot. And then that's going direct. It's going into the interface. We're doing something just a little bit different today in that we're taking a headphone feed from my interface. We're going into an IK Multimedia iRig 2. And then we're going into the iPhone and we're streaming via the YouTube app. I never know what to play in these things. But anyway, the chat's going by so quickly. I can't even I can't even decide what to do. Quentin James has popped his head in. Quentin, it is great to have you again, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. We got Bothlin Nether. My friend, I have not seen you in the shows before. If you've been watching and just have not revealed yourself to us yet, that's awesome. But if this is your first time, greatly appreciate you coming in. And Will Varela has joined in. Will, thank you so much. I can't remember now I'm wondering if I said hello to you earlier, but it doesn't matter. You're here, and I appreciate it. And Janice has shown up tonight. Hello, Janice. How are you, my friend? Hope you all have had awesome, awesome days. Milan, hello, my friend. Nice to have you in. Thank you so much. Greg Burkhart has joined us as well. Greg, thank you all so much. We're up to a good little start right now. We got 12 people watching. We got 7 thumbs up on my end. And I'm really enjoying this. 13 at the moment, which is awesome. This is cool. Well, now that we've got like a decent amount of people watching, I'll go ahead and cheers you all for joining in, and I appreciate it as always. I see another thumbs up with 8 thumbs up. Man, this is starting out pretty good tonight. So as the title says, this is the I'm not seeing the Avengers edition of SPJ Live. I'm just playing guitar. And there's been a couple things that have happened behind the scenes that I'm sure you all definitely see happening right now. So I'm very excited about this because there's some new ideas cooking, and so I'm gonna start needing a little bit of help. I have enlisted my good friend Ben Coombs and Aaron from Alba's band to help me out and be moderators here on the channel, so that as things are going on in the live chat, if there's any particular questions that need to be answered that I can't address 100% right away, maybe they can help you, or at least bring to my attention certain questions that maybe I'm missing. But there's also going to be some other things going on over the course of, the next little chunk of time leading into summer, that we're going to start wrapping some things up, but we're also going to be starting some new journeys as well. And it's going to be a really handy thing for me to have 2 guys who are, 1, always watching the live streams, 2, always watching the videos that I do, and 3, just all around really great guys. I know some of you are interacting on other channels as well, and I wish I could interact with you guys in those other channels too. I've been trying to watch a few more of Phil McKnight's live streams, been trying to make a Steve from Boston every now and again, but they always happen when I'm like right in the middle of working on something, so I can never stay long and I can never really, give it a whole go. But to Ben Coombs and Aaron Lee of Alba's band, guys, thank you so much for joining the little crew. Aaron said something earlier on before we had this whole thing going that he'd follow me into Mordor if he had to, which tip of the hat to the Tolkien reference there. And I think I need to have my own group of 9 of for mortal men doomed to die. But I'm glad to have Ben. I'm glad to have Aaron be a part of the team. And Ben, I always like it coming in on your live streams. I like the relaxed atmosphere, and I never feel like there's too much pretension. Will, if your ex lives in Mordor, my God, bro, so sorry for you. And maybe your ex should just stay there. You know, and maybe when the ring is destroyed, maybe all of that stuff would just go away. 10 thumbs up. Quentin James with the 10th thumbs up of the stream. Thank you, sir. Evan Ward has joined in. Evan, how are you, my friend? Jay, yes, I do love Ben's Vedas. If you guys haven't been checking it out, it's a really cool thing that Ben has been doing. Every day he's doing a little vlog, and I think, Ben, you've definitely been improving on camera over the course of successive weeks. So, man, I am so excited for it. It's been really, really cool to watch how much more comfortable you've gotten. It's a really cool thing. So keep it up, man. Really looking forward to it. Aaron has been showing the channel to some customers at GC, which I greatly appreciate. That's amazing. I just hope I'm not, every time I might say something disparaging of Guitar Center, don't take it personally, all right? Let's get rid of that verb. All right, Sean Zimmerman in the house. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? That is funny. Isn't Guitar Center a hardware store? Oh, I love that. Oh man, you guys have got a lot of chatter going on, and I'm seeing talk of patch cables. I need to get in on this. What are y'all talking about? Bodlin Nether with the comment of the stream so far. Love the Avengers, but my Dreadbox Hypnosis arrived today, so screw those guys. Love it. Fantastic. Oh, Jay Steen with a good question. That's what prompted the whole patch cables thing. What kind of patch cables does everyone use these days? There's been quite a few people talking about it, so let's check out your answers. Ben has been switching to the MXR cables from, let's see, on the board, and long cables are Fender Custom Shop cables. Aaron is doing patch and lead with Curlin cables. Let's see, we got Jay Steen using Megami, but they take up a lot of space. The Rockboard flat ones Sean had were pretty nice. I'm using those quite a bit. Actually, right now, 1, 2, 3. 3 of the 5 patch cables right now on this little board for the stream tonight are those Rockboard flat patch cables. Say that 5 times fast. And the other 2 are a couple from Sinusoid. But when it comes to patch cables for my rig, I actually have to make my patch cables most of the time because I tend to use a switcher. it's hard to find cables long enough to get from one part of the board to the inputs and outputs on the back of the G2. So I always need very different lengths, and I always need a combination of straight and angled plugs, which you don't always find. So I've been making mine. And I actually might be needing to make some of my own in a little bit. Because I might be putting together a new board this summer. We'll see about that. But I would love actually to just do solderless, because soldering, although I love soldered cables because in my opinion they are much more reliable than the solderless cables. Oh, that's dreamy. That's nice. It's just time consuming. And, you know, balancing soldering irons and doing all that kind of stuff, it's just such a... It can be such a hassle. But, you know, they're reliable, and I like them a lot. And because I know how to make them and solder them myself, I can do any length I want. So that's kind of what I've been using lately. But I do love the Rockboard flat patch cables. Those are a fantastic, fantastic option. We had a couple more things come by. I want to make sure that I got everybody. There's talk of stalkers. That's awesome. Stalkers are always fun. Not really. Will with a question. Have you done any reviews on any Keeley pedals, aka the El Rey Dorado pedal? Will, I have not demoed that specific Keeley pedal, but I have demoed quite a few Keeley pedals over the years. A couple years back during the summer, I did an entire month where it was just Keeley pedals on Stompbox Saturday. So there's Filaments, the Dyno Myroto, the Compressor Plus, the D&M drive. Still, that's the pedal. That's the one that got away from me. Because they sent it to me and I gave it away to a viewer, so I do not have that anymore. I think Kevin Gibbs won that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But, yeah, I've demoed a lot of Keeley stuff, and I love Keeley stuff. Keeley stuff is fantastic. I love it. We even had the Aria as part of the Stompbox Saturday Christmas special last year, which was a lot of fun. I demoed that with Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum. That was, and yeah, Aaron, that's exactly what I was just talking about. I did also do the Aria. But I love Keeley pedals. Robert's a fantastic guy, and they make some great pedals. I just emailed them today, actually, about getting the Synth One and the Fuzzbender on the show. We had been talking about it previously, but, you know, through chain of emails, you know, some things get lost. And I'm just not at the point where I have as large a following as some people. So, you know, I understand the pecking order. There are people with higher priority than myself. That's okay. Doesn't bother me. But at least I know that, you know, we have a good relationship. But I have a lot of Keeley pedals of my own right now that I haven't actually demoed. Oh yeah, I did the Loomer demo too. That was a fun one. I did the Dark Side as well, and the 30 milliseconds, but that was a few about a year prior to that as well. So yeah, I love Keeley. Dark Side I have, the Loomer, the Monterey, the Compressor Plus is currently on my big pedal board right now as my main compressor. The Filaments was part of my like Warp Tour rig. No, wait, that was the Getaway driver. I switched the Filaments off after that. What else am I using? I don't know. Keeley just makes great stuff, man. I had a lot of fun with Robert doing Stompbox Saturday 100 when it was at GitCon in Germany, and you know, there's Robert Keeley walking me through the whole thing of you know, the Caverns version 2. It was so much fun. It was a great time. Loved it. Let's see what else we got going on. Yes, Will, I think Quentin does have thumbs. You know, we're all human. We all have opposable thumbs, I guess. But I don't know. Can anybody confirm that? I'm just trying to make sure at this point that I've addressed everything you guys have been talking about. Yes, Jay Steen, he won the Aria. It's super cool. I never had a drive like the low drive on it. It's nice and different. Yeah, that Aria's got such a great drive sound. It's like my when I think about that phraseology in my head, I think about Ryan saying it in the moment and the way that he said it. Like, that's a really nice drive sound. It was, I loved the cadence of it. It was so much fun. I'm glad you're having fun with it, Jay. That's awesome. I'm glad that it's still serving you well. Ben, I was in the Keeley booth and trying the D&M drive for the first time, started noodling, and Robert walked over and started tweaking the pedal while I play. We then had a nice chat. Good dude. Real good dude. Aaron has been tracking the Echoes for 2 years, so I'll be all over that when it comes out. As will I be. As will I. Greg says, if you keep raving about the Architect V3, I'm going to buy it. If I buy it, my wife is going to give me grief. Definitely going to blame you. She can blame me all she wants. I didn't stick my hand in your wallet and make that money disappear. There's a little Architect for you. Put a little bit more gain on that guy. Yep, I think the Architect V3 is my favorite drive right now. I think it's my favorite drive right now. I think it's my favorite drive pedal right now. How many times am I going to say that phrase before you click buy? And if you buy it direct from Rick. That would be fun. Thank you for the compliment, Will. I appreciate that. I'm having fun with this tone as well, with the Architect and the Neuron running direct. I like it a lot. This Neuron has really been surprising, man. It feels really good. You know, I love it. Jay is saying, I like when you play the Caverns, and he said he never seen anyone play it like that. That's because most people that play with heavy reverb like that, that's so ambient, they just want to like, they always want to play pretty, and they always want to play clean. I'm the guy that always wants to, you know, for lack of a better term, fuck shit up. That's just the way that I think. So I don't have any qualms about. I actually got a comment, a really weird comment that was kind of hard to understand the point of on the Stompbox SmackDown that I did that compared the Hall of Fame 2 to the Ocean's 11. I think the guy was trying to say, why would you use reverb and distortion together? Because there are no rules. So I'm gonna do it. Half the fun of these Matthews demos was using the Wailer with these huge ambient reverbs that I could just like go to town on. Why don't you want to go to town? You know, if a pedal is not fun, and if you're not pushing it as far as it can go, then what at the end of the day is the point? That's just the way that I feel. SPJ likes to FSU. That might be a sticker idea. You know I'm a fuzz and reverb guy. I just checked out some stuff the other day. Yeah, dude, you're a fuzz and reverb guy. Stacking reverbs even. Am I right? That's fun. You can tell the last 3-4 companies he's demoed are really inspiring him. That's the sign of good pedals. It's true. Yep. Yep, that's alcohol. It's that scotch that I was drinking last week. That House Stark scotch. I put a little bit in the glass and I chilled it like it suggested, and it's still really good. For those of you with more prudish sensibilities, I have a root beer here as well. My favorite Virgil's root beer. Love it. New viewer in the house, JFlux69. What's going on, my friend? Thank you so much for joining in the conversation. And I also appreciate your question. He asked, what do I think of the audience Sono interface? The idea is very cool. However, not having actually had any firsthand experience with it, I'm going to, decline to make any comment on it. But, I'm totally up for checking out new technology in that realm. Just today, actually, I was looking at something that kind of goes along with what Ben and I were doing earlier today, testing out the audio for live stream. And it's sort of like a live streaming mixer that you can plug in, that Roland makes, that you can plug in multiple cameras to, as well as get different audio sources rolling into it. And then you can switch between the cameras, and you can have like automatic mixing and automatic switching things going on. So I'm always up for, stuff like that. So I'm interested, if anybody from Sonos is interested in Sean Pierce Johnson giving their stuff a go, they can find me. I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find at all. Bro, Aaron, no Game of Thrones spoilers. I just got my HBO Go hooked up, okay? And I still need to watch episode 2. No spoilers. Okay? God. You're drinking Howard Stark's scotch. He. Who is Howard Stark? I don't know. Try some scotch and root beer together. Heard it actually mixes good together. Let's try this. Let's try this right now. Scotch. Root beer. Reverse order. Yeah, I could see it. That's pretty good. I kind of like it. It's like a boozy root beer float. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. But we'll see how things go this Sunday. I'm afraid. I'm rereading the series right now, and I'm almost done with the first book. So I'm gonna have some fun with that. But I'm gonna take a bit of time away from continuing the series, and I actually just got Fire and Blood, the Targaryen house history book, that came out, it's like, yeah, George R.R. Martin, we want a history book of what happened before this story that you've been taking 10 years plus to finish. Thanks a lot. I worked at a Borders when the last book came out. That's a bit of perspective for you. That is a bit of perspective for you. Greg, great question. What was my preferred overdrive before my architect infatuation? Um, I had quite a few, actually. And I would say that my most favorite was my full tone OCD, and it still is a favorite. But it does a completely different thing, you know? It's not like it can do like a really great crunchy distortion, but it stacks really well with other pedals and into an amplifier. So that's a big time help. Um, but I've had that pedal now 10 years. It's been on almost every pedal board that I've ever made, but you know, as time goes on, your tastes change, your preferences change, and the way you think about tone changes. And before the Architect arrived, I was using the Bonsai by JHS, which I currently have set to the TS10 setting, which is probably my favorite variant on that pedal. I just love the way that it just really works with everything. That and the Keeley version on there, just incredible tube screamer overdrive. But what I like about the Architect is right now the way that I kind of am setting up my rig is something that I can easily have a lot of options without a whole lot of pedals on there. And since I'm not a huge MIDI guy, and I'm working on becoming a bit more of a MIDI guy, um, I need things that are very easy to access many different sounds. And the thing that really struck me about this particular Architect was you have that great Centaur style overdrive, but when you couple it together with the 3-band EQ and then the independent boost, stack them together, use them individually, both parts of the circuit are really, really stellar. And for what I need to do and the way that I see the rig evolving over the course of the next few months and maybe the next year, really whenever the band starts to play out again, I see it becoming a very integral part of my setup. So I would put it in that order of like OCD, Bonsai, Architect. And that's something to say for the fact that, the Bonsai and the Architect have come out within a year of each other. And they both are, I think they're both actually going to find a way onto my board in the near future. Because, a Centaur doesn't sound like a tube screamer. It just doesn't. No matter what people say. Ben, how do you like the Roland Go mixer? I'd love to know your thoughts. But I saw the one that was a little bit more advanced today and was really intrigued by it. Little upset that it doesn't allow me to switch cameras with a foot switch, but, all well and good. All well and good. Evan Ward's favorite drive right now is the VFE Dragon. It does heavy distortion well. For medium drive, a Noble's OD1, and boost full tone full drive 3 with the comp cut setting. Fender Pugilist is good too. The Pugilist is very good. Really excited about that. A very cool pedal. I almost got it last year. Almost demoed it, but oh well. I decided on the Ocean's 11 instead. We'll see how things work out. And I've got some other gear that I'm trying to pawn off and fund future projects. But hey, very cool. Yes, we did have a Napoleon Dynamite moment. That was very fun. Ben, thank you so much for sharing the Patreon. That actually brings up something that I would want to talk to you guys about. The Patreon, I'm currently working on some new ideas for the patron tiers. Um, I've chosen to do my Patreon a little bit differently. I haven't done a full on launch of it, but I've had it since the beginning of the year. So if any of you watching are interested, please do check out that link that Ben posted. It's patreon.com/Sean Pierce Johnson. Um, I I'm going to be making some changes to those tiers to make them a little bit more value added for those of you that choose to support the channel. Um, and really, if let's see, there's 13 of us watching right now. Um, 11 now. Thanks a lot, people. Never mind. That's no. Anyway, we're closing in on 4,900 subs. So if even 50 people were to do $5 a month, which is the lowest tier on the Patreon, that would be really helpful. Just because it'll help me offset the cost of doing a lot of this stuff. But there's other options and other things for those of you that feel so inclined. But like I said, I'll have more announcements about that in the coming weeks. Definitely as we get closer to the big launch of it. But for right now, it's very low key. Don't want to have too much going on with it other than like, hey, let's just have some fun. And if you feel like supporting, please do support. Yes, as Aaron is saying, as Albus Band is saying, please do feel free to share the streams anytime that we're doing. I always appreciate that. That's basically the best endorsement I can get is when you guys share the videos that I make with your friends, with your colleagues, with other players that you know. So anytime you do that, best endorsement you could ever give me. Will has a question asking how many pedals are on my board right now. At the moment, if you count my wireless, which is a Line 6 Relay G70, that would be 12. That'd be 12. There's 10 loops on the G2. All of them are occupied. I have the Line 6 wireless on there, and then I have the Retro Head Effects Toxic Fuzz, which I have coming before the G2, so I can just add that whenever I want, really. With the G2, it's very easy to manage, and I've got a big enough board that I can, make it work. But it's a lot of pedals. It really is a lot of pedals. What's coming up review-wise? I saw a fuzz from a company I didn't know that got me to follow them and get excited. That's awesome. Yeah. So what's coming up right now is I'll kind of tell you guys. Actually, I do as a little plug for the Patreon because what would this be without a Patreon plug spot again? I kind of had a rundown of all the stuff that's coming up, and that's going to be one of the things that I'll have on the Patreon feed so that you guys know what all's coming up, what you have to look forward to, and what your contributions will be helping towards. We are wrapping up our journey through Matthew's Effects this Saturday with the Cosmonaut. Today we had the Chemist go up, so please do go check that out when the stream is done or whenever you have a moment. Save it to your watch later playlist and stream it whenever you want. That's the beauty of YouTube. It's the OG in live streaming. But I have a demo of the Sonic Cake Rock Stage. That's what it is. Kind of lost that there for a minute. Yeah, so we looked at the Fifth Dimension earlier in the year, and they loved the video, and I loved that pedal. I ended up keeping it, and I'm gonna probably end up using it on my new board because it's a nice small size and it takes care of an effect that I would like to have, but don't really want to have the space for a huge pedal for. So they sent over the Rock Stage, which is kind of like a multi-effect thing. Very simple, very cool, and kind of geared towards like hard rock 80s metal kind of sounds. But it sounds great. It's a fantastic little box, and for not a whole lot of money. That's the best part. Not a whole lot of money, so you're not going to be wanting for anything with that pedal. So I'm excited about the one. That won't be this Saturday. It'll be next Saturday. After that, we still have yet to look at the Nux not too long ago, but I wasn't really too happy with the presentation and the quality of it, so I just decided to, scratch it and go back to square one. I think that'll just end up being a really good demo. It's a really cool, very versatile unit that has so much packed into it that I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, we also have the Mid-Valley Effects double amp distorter. I have yet to do a proper video of the orange pedal baby, so that's going to be happening as well. Other than that, there's been some requests for some new Stompbox Smackdowns, so I will be working on one that'll pit the black and yellow Russian Big Muff against the Op Amp Big Muff for the whole classic pro matchup of the USA versus Russia, which we're still seeing storylines based off of, which is fun. But I'm also going to be doing some other ones for me that I want to do. And I might be doing that as it leads up to Double or Nothing weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend in May. The big show out in Las Vegas that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are putting on. I actually got tickets to it, so my dad and I are going to be heading out to Sin City to go see some wrestling in May, which I'm very excited about. It's what can I say? I love the stuff. I don't care what you think. I love it, and it's a lot of fun. And the Stompbox Smackdown is really like where I get the most creatively fulfilling stuff out. It really just helps me helps get those creative juices flowing, and I have a lot of fun with making those. That'll be a lot of my fun. Double or Nothing weekend sounds like my love life. Ha ha! Buzzing. Ah, listen to that. Yep. Will with another question, a good one too. Okay, you can only use 4 pedals on your board, 1 guitar, 1 amp. What would they be? Guitar. This is in like 95% of the videos that I do. Amp. Orange Rock Reverb 100. Plain and simple. I could use a foot switch. Would a foot switch be included in those pedals? Just, just asking. Because if it is included, I'd pick tuner, foot switch, Chase Bliss tonal recall, and the Architect. Those would be them. So there you go. Oh man. Aaron with the this is getting all kinds of real up in here. Okay, if foot switch is part of the amp and I can add one more, then I'm gonna put the Walrus Audio Fathom on there. Just because. 2 words to happiness, prenup. Ugh. Damn. Saddest fact ever, pre-divorce, 454 pedals, 16 guitars, 2 amps now. 12 pedals, 3 guitars, 1 amp. Oh. Oh, it's getting all 2 kinds of real. Will with the bright side comment of the day here. Look at the bright side. More room to stretch in bed. That is an incredible bright side. Oh man, bro, Aaron, I know you've hinted briefly in our previous chats about this, but you know, hey, you had to do what you had to do. I got an ambient question. Slow, fathom, astronomer, cosmonaut. Ooh, boy. Let's see. You know, I love the fathom because it is so it's so versatile, and the sustain switch really helps make it more ambient than it starts out being. Slow is kind of like, yes, my Coke is sweating because I'm starting to sweat. It's hot in here. I even spilled it on myself trying to show you that. That one's for you guys. Luckily, it wasn't a whole lot. But, let's see. Well, here's the astronomer in its shimmer mode. Which is a pretty great shimmer. And I feel like shimmer is kind of essential for ambient music. And then I like that echo verb thing that they got going on. So the astronomer is certainly a great ambient pedal. The cosmonaut is another great ambient pedal, but it really all depends on what your definition of ambient is. If you really want something that is just going to be out of this world and otherworldly that you just can't do with any other pedal, you're gonna have to go with the slow because it packs so many different things that you can do into one very easy to use and pretty small pedal. For other things, you know, for my purposes, I would probably just go with the Fathom, have my nice standard reverb with it, hit that sustain switch, and let it do its thing. But the Astronomer, with, you know, the Canis Major sound on it has really been where I've been living for the last couple days and just really enjoying it. It's a little dense at times, though, for my personal taste, but it still feels pretty good. It still feels pretty good. Oh boy, your Quentin's ex left him for another chick. Yikes. Mountain Man Music. We got a new person in the chat. Mountain Man, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us. I would say that Aaron won the divorce proceedings there. Got the kids 9 out of every 14 days, so it's worth the $12K I had to sell in gear to pay for it. I'd say so. It's more important to make sure the kids are. It's important to make sure the kids are taken care of and that you can still maintain that relationship. So good for you, man. I'm happy about that. Evan, I'm happy if my gear is happy. There you go. All right, Will with another great question. What's the best fuzz pedal on the market? Bang for your buck type. When it comes to fuzzes, bang for your buck. Wow. Okay, confession time. I don't own bang for your buck fuzzes. I just don't. The first fuzz pedal I ever bought was the Electro Harmonix Big Muff, and that was 80 to 90 bucks, $100 max at the time. So I guess we could consider those bang for your buck because most of the newer Big Muffs you can get for like, 80 something dollars. So, that's fun. But in terms of best fuzz pedals on the market, like if we're really talking best, that's tough. Because I have gotten so many, and one of these days I'm probably just gonna have to plug them all in and play them for you all. That might be a fun thing to do, but we'll see how that works out. But I've just been loving that toxic fuzz that I got last year from Retrohead Effects. It's just super flexible. Tones are great. You can get classic. You can get modern. It's a true fuzz war. Yes, Aaron, a true fuzz war. Oh, dude, Aaron, yes, the Hall of Fame 2 with the mash. That was like my tone print for that Casa Doom. That was, I just wanted like some big reverb sound, and then with the mash to just like bring in a little bit of something special that would really set it apart from just all the other reverb pedals out there. So much fun. Ooh, I like that secret weapon, Evan, the Sonic Blocks multi-wave distortion. Oh yeah, Jay, that red and I know it's got the dip switches on it. I've seen that recently, but I've not watched any of the demos about it. That could be fun. Mountain Man Music has been using the Earthbound Solar Eclipse fuzz and overdrive. I just heard about them, so I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't know that one yet. I need to get into some Xander circuitry stuff. I don't know anything about their stuff. Evan wants to know about a fuzz for those of us who don't like fuzz. A fuzz for those who don't like fuzz. That's a good question. Well, what is it? Tell me about yourself. What is it that you don't like about fuzz? Let's have a little therapy session. So, okay. So, fuzz for those who don't like fuzz. That is a Good question. God, I don't know. I really don't know because I love fuzz, but I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like fuzz. If you can find one out in the wild, I would recommend trying the orange fur coat. It's a clone essentially of a Fox tone machine, and it kind of straddles this line between tone bender and big muff. It gets really saturated but can get really aggressive as well, and it has a foot switchable octave up, so you can try the thick kind of fuzz sound and then add on the Octavia kind of thing going on via the foot switch, and you can decide whether or not you like that. um, if some of the some of the things that I've noticed about what happens when people don't like fuzz is that they usually don't like how spitty it can be, and they find them kind of unruly. So I'd always try to recommend something that would be a little bit more amp like. You might also like the Whaler that Matthews just re-put out. So I'd recommend giving that a shot. Ah, here we go. Some Xander UK based has a rotary for all 6 clipping diodes, MOSFET, silicone, germanium, LED, JFET, and none. I love diode lift. That is so much fun. Greg has an Earthquaker terminal right now, but looking for another fuzz. I'm always looking for more fuzz. Ben cannot dial in a usable tone for what he plays with fuzz. And you're doing kind of like the country-ish kind of thing, right, Ben? New tone prints for TC. I need to check out some of these new ones. I haven't checked out TC tone prints in a while. Now that I have my own, it's kind of like I'm pretty well set up. So I don't feel like I need a whole lot. That's great stuff. Man, Will's got all the questions tonight. Thank you, Will. I really appreciate that. Which wah would you prefer between the usual wah or the George Lynch Dragon wah or John Petrucci's wah? So by usual, would you be meaning like a standard Crybaby or Clyde McCoy kind of thing? Because that's kind of important. Yes. Okay. So, Greg, go get some sleep. Thanks for joining in, my friend. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Well, I'm going to say this, and I have always found that I've responded better to wah pedals that felt more classic in their tone. I just have always felt more emotive with stuff like a Clyde McCoy. But I did have the Dimebag Crybaby from Hell for quite a few years, and I used that more often than not because it was just so versatile. However, having said that, I ended up selling it and keeping my Jimi Hendrix signature wah. I just kind of felt like at the end of it all, that was really the wah that I was responding to the best. The playing and the vocal quality of it was really what was working for me. So I kept that. But having said that, I'm anticipating Morley sending me a new wah pedal to check out, so that'll be fun to try. I've never had a Morley wah, and I've never really played any of them, so I'm gonna just say I'd go with just a standard, really great sounding Clyde McCoy style wah over anything because it's just gonna have that sound that I know I'm gonna like. Anything too far to the extreme, I'm probably not going to end up getting along with. But hey, to each their own. To each their own. Evan gets what he needs from the amp gain, drives, and boosts. Fast response is a must for me. I do understand that. I do understand that. Evan enjoys himself Vox 847 all day. There you go. Apparently, Will is very funny. Might have to see proof of this very soon. Mountain Man, Crybaby from Hell for 12 years. Nice. It's a great wah pedal. It's absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the more versatile ones of the signature line. It was really funny to me how that wah, for being a signature, was so very easily tweakable. You think like, oh, it's just a signature wah. It's gonna sound like Dimebag. You didn't have to make it sound like Dimebag, which is pretty cool, I think, at least. Yeah. Will anybody else have any questions? Please, somebody else, help, please. Jerry Cantrell does have a signature wah, and it is very, very cool. It's basically a good crybaby with a the adjustment is to tailor the high end response of it, so you can make it a little bit darker on the toe down position. And I like it. It's a great sound. I actually played this past October at the LA Amp Show. I played the Friedman wah, which was fantastic, and Dave was walking me through it. I was enjoying myself immensely. And then waiting for guys who were playing like very stereotypical 80s metal licks through all his stuff to stop playing so that I could. What do I know? Evan's also a fan of Ottawa, the AW3. I had an Ibanez AW7, part of the 7 series, the tone lock stuff. That was a lot of fun. Loved that. Absolutely loved that. Sold it, though. Sometimes you gotta sell some gear. Sometimes you gotta sell some gear. That's all I gotta say about that. Charlie S. in the house. Oh, man. Okay, Will's funny. I cried like a baby during the divorce settlement. Does that count? I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Oh, Charlie. Charlie, 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 Charlie. Oh, I wish you would have come sooner, buddy. I was just about to call it a night. I was just about to call it a night. Oh, man. By the way, update for anybody who is curious as to whether or not the Avengers was any good. Facebook friend of mine, believe the hype. Endgame was fantastic and a hell of a way to wrap up this era of Marvel movies. So apparently, while we've been having fun joking around and talking about guitar, um, Avengers was pretty good. I probably won't watch it until it comes out on some streaming service. And even then, I don't know if I'll watch it. Oh well. Ah, Terry, yes, the Digitech Synthwah. I had that. Green pedal. Really wacky looking green pedal. But it was great. It was a great pedal. Ah, thanks, Charlie. Or are you talking about yours? You might be talking about yours. You did get that studio. Those man, those pictures were cool. That was a good find. That was a really good find. Synthwah is badass. I like that. Badass. 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 Again, Bothlin Nether. I know it would be a good movie, but my Dreadbox Hypnosis pedal arrived today, and it's better. I know that feeling. Yeah, there's just a way that you feel when a new piece of gear is arriving, and you're just like everything else does not matter. What matters is this new toy to play with. You know, it's like when we get new pieces of gear, it's like Christmas, and we're kids again, and we're opening everything up, and we're just having a really good time. So that's fun. I'm glad that definitely has fed you your stuff. I saw the Avengers Endgame movie yesterday. I have a way to see first run movies for free. Shh. Don't worry, Will. I won't let anybody know your secret. I know what your secret is. You didn't see it, did you? You can't fool me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know that whole I know that trick. Jay, don't even bother trying to keep up with superhero movies. I gave up on that years ago. I gave up on it. I know you probably saw it, Will. I just felt like joking around and playing around with you. Mm. All right, guys. Well, we're nearing the 70-minute mark, and I got some other stuff to take care of before I wind out my night. But I had to come on, and I had to join you guys and have some fun with you. It's always nice to come and chat with you guys. It's always nice to have some fun on these Thursday night live shows, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more. Big thank you and a big hearty welcome to my new mods, Ben and Aaron. I'm looking forward to having them be a part of the crew as we move into a couple new things in the new year. For the time being, if you haven't done so already, please do click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. This Saturday, we have the Matthews Effects Cosmonaut demo going up. Today, we had the Chemist V2 demo to go up, so please do check those out when you get a chance. And if you also feel so kindly as to support this channel to help me keep doing this stuff, Patreon link is in the description below. Please do have yourselves a very enjoyable evening and have yourselves a great weekend. And until next week, my friends, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and wish you all out there great tone.